So I've been thinking a lot lately about the drop in the market, the shift in strategies that I've had when I first got in November, December. Like a lot of the influencers say, you could crap on a piece of paper and sell it as an NFT and make millions, because everyone was just buying everything. It slowed down a lot in February. It's April 20, or it's April 19. Tomorrow's 420. Tomorrow I'm getting ready to mint Trap Monkeys, which is a cool project. It does have a real life brand, clothing brand to it, but the price is really affordable, 0.08 depending on your level, 0.08 ETH or less, as opposed to what was happening in January, where everything was starting out at a quarter ETH or half an ETH or full ETH or 3 ETH or something like that. Just crazy amounts of money. Just look at the exchange rates. But some of my thoughts, I was thinking, I read somebody had said that in Discord, the reason why so many projects are basically dying out was because of tax season. And I guess there's some validity to that. But from what I've seen, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that there were so many scams. Different groups making a crap ton of different projects that were just sucking the money out of the market, to the point where, and I got scammed too, to the point where people were stretched so thin they couldn't afford anything anymore. I mean, that was a reality. Some people could. Some people that got into projects way earlier last year. I think that had more bearing on it than tax season. The fact that people are just not liquid anymore. And it's starting to happen where people are recognizing and shifting how they're evaluating projects. So some of the things I talked before that this is going to be my journey through NFT investing. I guess crypto, and by extension stock market, all these different investment tools. And what's funny is, as things were hot, I shifted to one type. As things died off, cooled off, or whatever else, I shifted to another type of investment, or back to the original investments. Started off with stocks again back in 2020, December. Jumped into crypto in May of 2021, or maybe it was April. Was doing that pretty much the whole time, missing the boat on all these Bored Apes and Cyber Kong NFTs and all these other things that would have made me hundreds of thousands of dollars each by now. Not really understanding the space, and then shifted into NFTs in November. So I've been around about 6 months in the NFT world. Haven't done that good, to be honest. Got scammed a lot, bought a lot of fakes in the very beginning. Looked at some really solid stuff, what turned out to be really solid, like Ugaverse, which started out as Space Apes, I think it was called. Going, oh, that's just a copy of CyberKong's. Trash, because I'd already been burned by copies of other projects, successful projects. They're called derivatives. Sometimes derivatives do really well, most times they flop. So how do you assess an NFT project? How do you know? What a lot of people were doing initially was, oh, it's cool, so I want to get it. Some of that still happens. It's called hype. It's really cool art. It's really cool. Artist did it. Everybody wants it, so they're gonna go for it. They're gonna save up their money. So that's another thing. Because of being stretched so thin, people are starting to be more selective in what they picked. So some NFTs that may have been really successful last November, December, come March, April, flop. In other words, they're selling for less than what they minted for. So there is that hype issue. But people, the longer you're in the space, the wiser you get, I guess. You learn a lot of things really, really fast. It's a very fast-paced industry. But some of the things that people are looking at now to assess a potentially successful NFT project, to weed it out from all the others, is one, the team who created it, the founders, the artists, the business managers, community managers, etc. And second, what niche does it fill? Or what type of project is it? A lot of times it's still profile pics or art, but that's starting to become overdone. They want something a little bit more. 3D has become pretty common lately. Or animated GIFs like DKverse or any of those. But one thing that really helped me put this all into perspective, because I do have a degree in business, international business, that I haven't really used because I'm a fireman, right? Is somebody said you have to realize that NFT projects are basically startup businesses. So if you evaluate every NFT project like it's a startup business, it should help clarify things a bit more. What they're doing to build their business, whether it's going to be a game or it's going to be a clothing brand or it's going to be whatever, is they're trying to get initial seed money. Instead of going to a bank to get it or to a bunch of venture capitalists to get that money, they create an NFT, sell it to the world, and it stays decentralized, and they maintain more control of their product line, their game, their software, whatever it is. So I thought about that for a bit. I went, oh, that makes complete sense now. And with that, I guess, knowledge or understanding or that clarity, looking back at stuff that I had invested in before, completely would not have invested in it had I realized that all these NFT projects, good ones, are basically startup companies. With that said, now you're talking about founders. A lot of the founders that I'm noticing, young kids. Yeah, okay, they know how to program, maybe they got some digital art stuff going or whatever else, but a vast majority are young kids who are still in college. Some of them still in high school. So be very wary. That's why they're having a hard time executing on their roadmap or their business plan. Roadmap is a business plan, basically. So they have a hard time because they've never done it before. They don't understand it. They don't understand the nuances and whatever else. So the ones that tend to be a lot more successful, they always say, oh, it's the groups that have already launched a successful NFT. It's the groups that have already launched successful businesses, or at least have business experience. That's what made sense to me as soon as I read just this past weekend that all NFT projects are basically startup businesses. I went, okay, that makes sense. So what I would look for, again, not financial advice, right? This is what I'm doing. This is basically my video journal of my journey or thoughts on investing in the NFT and crypto and even stock worlds. So what I'm looking at now is, as I listen into the AMAs, which is a Ask Me Anything, voice chat, FaceTime, whatever. As I listen into them and I hear very young people, great ideas, some can execute, some can't execute. You know, I'm looking at Tomodachi right now. They had some good answers when I asked them some questions. I listened in on them, and it seemed like they have a better understanding about the business concept that they're doing, as opposed to some others that I listened into where they were just like, it's gonna be great, it's gonna be awesome. And they just a whole crap ton of empty promises. So, first thing to understand, I believe, is that NFT projects, the real ones that would last time, startup businesses. So you want to look at the benefits, cost benefit analysis, right? They call it utility. How can I use this thing? So dive into those things. See the NFT space for what it is. Some of it generally is art. Genuinely is art. You know, I just want to make 3D GIFs, and there you go. Or GIFs, I guess. It's a whole nother discussion. But anyway, just wanted to share some thoughts as I'm on my way home yet again.